Yo, what's going on, guys? Crispy Flakester, welcome to Extra Crispy. So as we all know, every single NBA team starting five has a weakest link, right? I mean, it's just like, that's just how it is. Like, somebody has to be the worst player or the player that doesn't fit the most in a starting five. So for today's video, man, we got video, or I guess an article by Grant Hughes titled, "One Starter Every NBA Team Must Replace This Summer." So you guys let me know in the comment section below, based off your favorite basketball team, who is the one starter you think should be replaced or maybe moved to the bench, or, you know, just something switched up with them, right, man? Let me know in the comment section below. Let's get it, man. So the first thing we have is the Atlanta Hawks with John Collins. Interesting, I suppose. I think John Collins is a really good basketball player. He does struggle at times with consistency, but, you know, a lot of players do. But I guess I wouldn't replace Clint. Would not replace DeAndre Hunter. Was it Bogdan that starts at the 2 spot? You're not replacing Trae Young. I mean, I would probably pick like a shooting guard to like replace over John Collins personally, man. But also depends on what John Collins' contract situation is going to be and how much money he warrants on the free agent market. Next up, we got the Boston Celtics with Tristan Thompson. Yeah, this man should have got replaced this season with Robert Williams full time. Tristan Thompson just ain't it no more, man. I mean, he can grab some rebounds. He's basically like, you know, Reggie Evans dating a Kardashian, right? Like, he grabs some boards. That's about it these days. That's about it, man. Okay, we got DeAndre Jordan for the Brooklyn Nets. Now, I don't think he's actually starting right now. He did start quite a few games this summer. Or I'm not the summer, but this, I don't know why this summer, man. This season. There we go. 2 S words. But yeah, I think right now they got like Blake Griffin playing some center and stuff too. And, you know, Nicholas Claxton really should be the starting center, in my opinion, going forward. DeAndre Jordan is just old. Just got old real quick. Here we got Charlotte Hornets, Bismack Biyombo. Yeah, y'all got to get more respected center out there. But say, you know, go for like Miles Turner. Might have a chance to get Montrezl Harrell away from the Lakers. Maybe sign Rashawn Holmes, somebody like that. Just as long as it's not Bismack Biyombo, man. He should not be a starting center in 2021 or 2011 or 2001, man. You know, whatever season it is, this man should not be starting. Here we have Chicago Bulls, Garrett Temple. Honestly, I didn't even know he was starting for the Chicago Bulls, man. I thought they ran out Tomas Satoransky, Zach LaVine. What does he play, small forward? I thought Patrick Williams would have done that. Lord Markkinen, and then yeah, not Garrett Temple. Huh, okay. Oh yeah, then Vucevic at center. So I didn't know he was a start. Maybe he just started quite a few games this season. I don't really know, man. But yeah, if he's starting, he should not be doing that, I guess is the best way to put it. Cleveland Cavaliers, we got Larry Nance Jr. So, you know, this is assuming with Kevin Love not being healthy and stuff like that Larry Nance is a starter. I personally like Larry Nance. I think he's a pretty solid player on a pretty reasonable contract. He's a good jack of all trades type of guy. But I like him probably more as a bench player, just like a guy that can do a little bit of everything for your second unit. Those guys are very valuable, right, men? All right, we got Dallas Mavericks, Josh Richardson. Yeah, like, I really thought Josh Richardson was going to go up another tier playing with Luka Doncic, just like off his playmaking and stuff, just because, like, to me, Richardson is like the Tobias Harris of like shooting guard / small forwards. Tobias obviously is a 4, where he just knows how to do everything really well offensively. And like, if you have like a good playmaker, have that be Ben Simmons or Luka Doncic, you should be able to play nicely off that, man. But you know, Richardson, I feel like this team kind of wishes they just had Seth Curry back. Next up, we got Will Barton of the Denver Nuggets. Yeah, plain and simple, he should be replaced by Michael Porter Jr. as a full-time starter. That's, you know, nothing against Will Barton, just they got better options on that team as like. Although Will at the 3 spot with Michael Porter at the 4, but then again, you know, Aaron Gordon's on the team, so yeah, naturally Will Barton would have to go somewhere else. Or I guess you could start him at the 2 spot, you know, when Jamal Murray comes back as that point guard and everything. A lot of different ways you can kind of look at it. Next, we got the Detroit Pistons with Mason Plumlee. So I do think this offseason, the Pistons need to trade Plumlee away. And I will say, he was actually pretty damn good for us this season. He had some triple doubles. Like, he was just like a good, serviceable guy you could trust at center. The thing is that the Pistons don't need that right now. They need to develop beef stew, Isaiah Stewart, and, you know, get some young bloods out there, right, man, to develop. Because Mason Plumlee is going to be 31. His contract's pretty solid. I would say his stock is at an all-time high. You might be able to flip him for something pretty damn decent. And, yeah, he's definitely who I would replace right now. Okay, next up we got Kevon Looney of the Golden State Warriors. I mean, naturally he's going to be replaced by James Wiseman when he's completely healthy, so that one's pretty simple. But let's assume that the Warriors decide to trade away Wiseman. Then I would say a guy like Kevon Looney does pretty nicely in the Warriors lineup, just like what they need at the center spot. A guy that sets some picks, blocks some shots, grabs some rebounds. And Kevon Looney does that at a very reasonable price, so I don't think it's like the end of the world. Next up we got Daniel House of the Houston Rockets. Yeah, man, like he had like a really good start to his NBA career, and ever since it just kind of seems like I don't know what it is. If he just doesn't care as much anymore, I don't really know what it is, man. But I'm ready for them to move on. Maybe he doesn't want to be part of a rebuild. I guess that could be a case. And he is somebody that I do think in the right circumstance could be like a pretty solid rotational piece to like a championship team. Okay, next we have Justin Holiday of the Indiana Pacers. Yeah, I don't think he was ever intended to be like a full-time starter, right? Obviously, the Pacers have a lot of injuries and stuff going on, but their natural lineup is Malcolm Brogdon, Karis LeVert, TJ Warren, Sabonis, and Miles Turner. Now, personally speaking, I think you could actually make an argument for Miles Turner over Justin Holiday just because it might appear that the Pacers need like a little switch up in their front court, and you get a little small ball if there was Sabonis at the center spot and TJ at the 4, right? It's not really small ball, but it's smaller ball. Next, we have the LA Clippers, Patrick Beverley. Yes, this man should not be a starting point guard. Like, outside of his defense, which has been getting damn torched pretty much by Luka anyway, Patrick Beverley should not be a full-time starter, man. Like, he's just not that type of player anymore. He's just not. Like, his offense is a liability. I'm just not a big fan of Patrick Beverley, guys. I don't know, man. Next up, we got the LA Lakers with Dennis Schroeder. Feel bad for this man. Oh, not really, but kinda. This man turned down an $84 million extension with the Lakers, guys. He is not the way. Okay, it's so crazy because like last season he was like 6th man of the year. Amazing, right? It's so crazy how quickly the narrative could change. But when it comes to those contract extensions, you know, the old saying is strike while the iron's hot, right, man? Like straight up, Schroeder should have accepted that extension. $84 million is like, it's so much money, man. That's so much money. Now, I guess you can't blame him for having confidence within himself, but based off he's playing, you know, in this first round series against the Suns, he's not getting that type of money, man. He might get, I'm going to say he might get $15 million annually, maybe. You know, that's about $60 million over the course of 4 seasons. So it could cost him damn $25 million just for not signing the extension. If he even gets that, right? Memphis Grizzlies, we got Grayson Allen. Yeah, I mean, good hustle player and stuff, can knock down some shots, be a little spark, but, you know, those type of sparks I think work better off the bench. So, yeah, that's pretty easy to say. Next up, we got Trevor Ariza of the Miami Heat. Yeah, Ariza had some okay playoff moments for what it's worth against the Milwaukee Bucks, but overall, he's just up there in age. Should not be a full-time starter in the NBA anymore. I think Jay Crowder was better for this team. And, yeah, man, they got to get, I got to say they got to get a little bit more youthful at that power forward spot, a little athleticism, a little 3-and-D type of guy out there, and that'd be a good direction for them. I actually kind of wish they would have kept Derrick Jones Jr., man. I feel like he would have been a guy that really could develop nicely with this team. Next, we got Dante DiVincenzo of the Milwaukee Bucks. I mean, you know, they already tried to get rid of him in the offseason for trying to get Bogdan, and that was, of course, vetoed. Now he's injured in the playoffs, obviously, but, you know, I like Dante. He does some okay things out there. As far as anybody else on the Bucks that like should be replaced over him, I can't really think of one, so naturally he would be the choice. All right, here we got Josh Okogie of the Minnesota Timberwolves. I didn't know he was starting right now, man, because they got, I guess I actually saw it, like, for a little while, they were actually running, like, Ant-Man. It's like a power forward, so they were doing, like, this 4 weird guard lineup type of thing out there. I would say, because I believe, who's the one dude that's starting at power forward? Vanderbilt, I think his name is. I mean, maybe they can find a little improvement right there. Okogie is fine. I don't really know if he belongs to this Timberwolves team, though, man. I'd like to see him maybe go develop somewhere else. Next up, we got Eric Bledsoe of the Pelicans. Yeah, that Lonzo Ball Eric Bledsoe backcourt is just not it, man. Like, Lonzo should be the full-time primary ball handler, and they need to get a 3-and-D type of dude at the 2 spot. You know, Matisse Thybulle, I think, would be like a perfect guy. Or if they want to get a little older guy, Marcus Smart would be, you know, really perfect too, man. But, you know, Eric Bledsoe it's just awkward and clunky with him in that lineup with Lonzo. It just does not work whatsoever, especially in a Van Gundy offense. Alrighty, next we have Elfrid Payton of the New York Knicks. Honestly speaking, man, like, Elfrid Payton I think is fine. I actually kind of like, you know, they're kind of doing like the Clippers, Zubats, Montrezl Harrell thing from last year, where Zubats is the starter, but Montrezl really is a starter. Same case with Elfrid Payton, where he's the starter, but it's really Derrick Rose, and that's okay. You need especially using guys like Derrick Rose off the bench. It's good to have low-ego point guards that don't mind getting the start, but know they're not going to finish the game. I think that's actually kind of important for team chemistry. Next up, we got Theo Maledon of the OKC Thunder. I think he showed some decent promise. I don't know if he's really, you know, ready for like a full-time starter spot. So, yeah, I think Shea should be the point guard, and, you know, we'll see what they get in the draft. So they're going to get a good draft pick. So I think Theo, assuming they go for a backcourt player, Theo's probably the dude out. Next, we have Orlando Magic, Dwayne Bacon. Okay, next we got Philadelphia 76ers with Danny Green. Yeah, Danny's he's just kind of getting up there in age, man. He's no longer like that extremely elite defensive player that he used to be like with the Spurs. It just seems like, players are a lot quicker than him sometimes, and he just like lost a step within his defensive game at least, right, man? So I would be okay with Danny Green being replaced by the 76ers at some point. Now, if you want him as a bench player, that's fine. That just might be his role going forward. Next, we got Phoenix Suns, Chris Paul. Wrong. If Chris Paul decides to go back to the Suns, you keep him. And you want to know what you do in the meantime? You go out and you find a good young point guard, either via the draft or a trade or, whatever you want that next player to be, and then Chris Paul can mentor them. That's what you do, man. Like, you don't get rid of Chris Paul. I mean, yes, you don't get rid of Devin Booker. You don't get rid of Mikal Bridges. Power forward spot, I think, is Jay Crowder. I would say Jay Crowder's the most replaceable. If CP3 wants to come back, he is not proven within his game that he's regressing. Like, yes, he's injury prone, but a lot of players are. So, yeah, definitely not doing that. Portland Trailblazers, nobody. Oh, come on now, that's a cop-out. You can't just get to the 25th list of team and then go with the nobody route all of a sudden. But okay, sure, nobody, I guess. Who they got at the 4? Is it Melo? Damian, CJ, Covington, Powell, and Nurkic. That is a pretty solid starting 5. I ain't gonna lie, man. Sacramento Kings, Marvin Bagley the 3rd. Yeah, he needs a change of scenario. I would say this man's trade value is really dwindling down. He's starting to become known as a unproductive, injury-prone player. But this offseason, there's still a sliver of that potential left with him that I think the Kings need to trade away. Because if you wait longer and he has another injury-prone season, you will get nothing for him, man. You lose. Good day, sir. Okay, so a Willy Wonka thing. San Antonio Spurs, DeMar DeRozan. Yup. Embrace the youth movement, the rebuild, whatever you want to call it. I don't really think it's a rebuild because they got pretty damn solid talent already, but it's time to embrace it and get rid of the old guys. LaMarcus Aldridge already gone. DeMar DeRozan next up. Next, probably Rudy Gay. Next up, we got the Toronto Raptors, Aaron Baines. Very disappointed with him, especially how he was the season before. I believe he was on the Celtics, wasn't it? And he was really solid. And then on the Toronto Raptors, he was meant to be just like this hustle, big muscular dude that can shoot some threes, grab some rebounds, and he just played really bad, man. We got Mike Conley of the Utah Jazz. I would personally not replace an all-star. I just would not do that. Next up, we got Rui Hachimura of the Washington Wizards. Completely wrong here, man. Thomas Bryant is typically the full-time starting center. He needs to be replaced with Daniel Gafford, and honestly, Thomas Bryant would not be bad as off the bench if he could up his defense a little bit, but Daniel Gafford needs to have the full-time starting job. Rui Hachimura, I would not replace him whatsoever, man. But that's all we got for this video, guys. Hopefully you all enjoyed it. Be sure to drop that like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and peace out, my friends.